Hi, I'm Andy Magruder with the law firm of Wilkinson Magruder, your local Social Security attorneys. I'm here with my partner today, Les Wilkinson, to answer some commonly asked questions about the Social Security disability process. Les, as you know, we represent a lot of veterans here in Augusta, based upon Fort Gordon being here. And a lot of veterans come to us and they have been found 100% disabled by the VA. And they have filed Social Security disability claims. And the Social Security Administration knows that they're found, that the VA has already found them 100% disabled per the VA standards. And they always ask us, well, if the VA says I'm 100% disabled, why does Social Security keep denying my claim?
Well, Social Security is required to consider the VA ratings, the VA disability, the medical records from the VA, but they are not bound by the VA rating. For instance, in the VA, you got scheduled ratings. For instance, if you lose a foot, you lose a leg, you lose an arm, there's certain scheduled ratings. It might be 50%, then you got a bad knee, that might be 20%, and eventually all the different impairments might add up to 100%. But what Social Security looks at is they don't have a scheduled rating. Social Security, you're either able to work or you're not able to work. So with Social Security, it's 0 or 100%. With the VA, it's different levels of impairment. And then there's a condition, well, there's provision in the VA that individual unemployability. And that's too complicated to get in right now, but if you're declared individually unable to work, you've got individual unemployability, that means the VA has determined that because of your service-connected conditions, you're not able to work. Social Security will consider that, but they're not bound by that rating. It's sort of like, it's easier to use a Social Security disability rating to get a VA unemployability rating than it is to use the VA to get Social Security disability. In other words, if Social Security finds that you're not able to work, you're not able to work. And the VA can use that decision in determining that you have individual unemployability.
So let me ask you, can an individual get both VA service-connected disability benefits as well as Social Security disability benefits?
Yes.
What about VA pension benefits and Social Security disability?
Well, now the pension is different than the compensation for VA purposes. Compensation is based on your impairment rating, whereas pension, if you serve during a particular time, for instance, wartime eras, and you basically are poor and don't have any other income, you can get a VA pension. In other words, they declare because of your service, you're entitled to a pension. Now, if you get Social Security disability, that might knock you out of the VA pension, because the pension is sort of like SSI. It's based on your income and your assets. And so if you're entitled to Social Security disability, and say your Social Security disability is $1,500, and your VA pension is $1,400, then you're not entitled to the VA pension. You'd only be entitled to Social Security disability.
So let me ask you, what do you do to try to ensure that the Social Security Administration has all the most important information they need in terms of the VA rating decision? Obviously the rating decisions, the QTC exams. What do you do to try to ensure that the Social Security Administration has all that information?
Well, if you treat at the VA, we get your VA records. And the VA is pretty good about getting us those records in a timely fashion. We get the VA records. We look through there to make sure that, your condition is documented in that. We take the VA ratings and we take the rationale for the ratings and we submit those to the judge, or we upload them in an electronic file. And we point these things out to the judge. The VA has found that you have a 50% impairment because, for instance, PTSD, you might have a 70% rating for PTSD, or you might have a 70% for traumatic brain injury. A lot of times, people over in Iraq and Afghanistan, they've been victims, or they've been in an IED attack, and they get a concussion, or they get hit in the head, and so they may have a PTSD, vertigo, and things like that. And that is very important, because if you got a traumatic brain injury and you have trouble walking as a result of that, then Social Security will look at it and say, well, there's not much else you can do, because if you got trouble, functioning, comprehending, you're slow, your motor reaction is slowed down, and you got vertigo and things like that, then Social Security is probably going to find that you're unable to do anything and find you disabled.